Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Ermanni. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
Well, isn't this just freaking great?
Man, hell of a way to start the show, right?
Oh, and here we go. That's right. My goodness, Thursday, March 10th. I cannot even tell you about my disappointment right now. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. Braylon, good afternoon to you. We just got done watching Michigan just with an all-timer.
Give the game away.
It was an all-timer meltdown. Probably one of the biggest meltdowns I've ever seen in my life in terms of a home team just giving a game away.
Yeah, it just seemed like in the past 15 minutes, or in the last 15 minutes of the game, everything they said Michigan hadn't done well this year, whether it was three-point shooting, whether it was decision-making, whether it was point guard play, whether it was getting Hunter Dickerson involved early on and in the paint. Everything that they said we didn't defend well, one-on-one man on-ball defense. Everything they said we didn't do well this year, it happened in the last 15 minutes. It's just a disheartening loss, and this is a Michigan team that's by no means in the tournament. Like, they're not in the tournament, even though they won against Ohio State, they won Michigan State. This team isn't in.
And Braylon, if they don't get in, I'm not that mad.
I'm not either,
because this is they didn't lose to Indiana and all.
Right.
They literally gave the game away. They were up by 13 at the half.
Yep.
They were up 60-43 at one point in the second half. With 12 and a half minutes to go in the second half, Michigan was up 60-43, and all of a sudden, what is that? 60-43, a 31-9 run to close the game. A 31-9 game run to close the game.
Did they go 17 minutes without scoring?
Absurd.
17 minutes without scoring?
Not 17. They had a field goal at the 12-and-a-half-minute mark of the second half and didn't have another field goal
a minute 40.
until Eli Brooks with 44 seconds to go. Oh, no, excuse me. Devontae Jones with a minute 43 to go.
What was that, 140?
So they went 11 and a half minutes of game time without scoring a basket. I think it is coaching, Braylon, because if you looked at that second half, the second half of the second half,
right.
The last 10 minutes of the game, they couldn't even dribble the ball. They were dribbling the ball off their shoes. They couldn't get the ball into Hunter Dickinson. They couldn't pass the ball. They couldn't get anybody open. They were dribbling the ball down to the end of the shot clock and putting up wild shots. I think at that point you have to look at the head coach and say, you want to use a timeout? You want to draw up a play? You want to settle your guys down? You know, Larry Brown, the old Pistons coach, a Hall of Fame coach.
He's in Memphis now.
Oh my gosh, dude! That if the Pistons called a timeout, you knew they were going to come out with a bucket. I mean, there are certain coaches that after a timeout just make their guys relax, draw up the best plays, and you settle everything down. What Juwan Howard was doing in this one, I don't know. If he was more concerned about the way he was looking or acting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
But my goodness, that loss is on him, too. It's on the players, sure, but that loss is on him.
First game back.
It's an interesting one, too, because you don't know if it's a situation where the players are looking to Phil Martelli or looking to Juwan, like which guy is going to get us in the right spot, which guy is going to get us going. You know, Juwan Howard, you know, so much was made of his passion. Maybe he was too passionate. That's why he led to the incident last year with Maryland's coach, incident this year with Wisconsin's coach. So maybe he's being a little bit more reserved, trying to ease his way back into coaching at the Big Ten level. Whatever it wasn't acceptable.
And look, you mentioned the tournament. I thought and I still think this is an NCAA tournament team. They were 11-9 in Big Ten play, 11-10 if you want to put this record in Big Ten play. I think the Big Ten Conference is the best in college basketball, top to bottom.
Yep.
You might not think Illinois is going to win the national championship. You might not think Illinois is all that top-heavy, but Illinois, Wisconsin, and perhaps everybody else. Illinois, Wisconsin,
Don't
Purdue.
forget about Purdue.
Yeah. But I think 11 wins in conference should get you in. If it doesn't, like I said, because of the way this ended, Braylon, I'm not all that mad.
Yeah, like you said, you're not all that mad, neither am I. They put up 2 good wins. They beat Michigan State last week. They beat Ohio State last week as well. So those are 2 good wins, right at the end. Those are 2 good quad 1 wins. So if they get in, it's going to be because of those 2 wins last week. But you just watched that meltdown, and that's not what you want to see from a team that's picking from the tournament, from the NCAA, that's picking teams to get into this tournament. What have you done in your conference? What have you done to deserve to be in the Big Ten tournament? So, have a meltdown like that, everything that they said about the Michigan Wolverines this year in the basketball, on the basketball court, it came to fruition in the last 15 minutes. They couldn't buy a bucket. They couldn't get an offensive setup. They couldn't get Hunter Dickinson involved. They wouldn't make shots. They didn't play good defense. And, oh, my God, the big man, Jackson Davis from Indiana, the big man, every time they went into him, he made a bucket. He got to play. He got an offensive rebound. He got the putback. He got a dunk. He got a 3-ball. He got he made his free throws as well as getting and ones. He was huge down the stretch for Indiana, and Michigan just had no answer. And look, they just looked like a team, deer in headlights, all of them.
That is all on Jawan, this game. It's just, there's no question about it. I'm not sure if the players, like you said, Braylon, they didn't know who to look at. Yeah. Sadi, Howard, Phil, they didn't know who to look at. But to be up that big in the second half, and then because let me take you back. They're up 18 points, Michigan. You and me are sitting there, we're having a little lunch, talking about the show, laughing, whooping it up. And you said this show. I believe that this team is going to have a deep run into March.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
And do you know why I said that? But go ahead. No, you go first, and then I'll explain
because
myself.
They look so damn good finishing the season, those last 2 wins. They get their coach back. Everything looks like it's pointed up. They're up 18 points. I don't blame you for saying what you said because they look like a tournament team, and then they crap the bed.
And the reason why I said I think this is a team that, 15 minutes ago I said it. I said I think this is a team that can make a deep run in the playoffs, in the postseason, in the tournament. And the reason I said that is because this college basketball is a simple formula. If you get good guard play, if you play good defense, you're going to advance in the tournament. And Devontae Jones was playing really good basketball down the stretch. He was making everybody around him better. Houston was getting wide open looks in the 3. Hunter Dickinson looked like a new player. Jones was creating shots for everybody out there on the floor. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened in the last 12:30 of the game, but it's almost like he forgot how to play. Or he got these butterflies in his stomach or something like that. And Eli Brooks, the senior, not much better.
Yeah, no, even though Eli had 18, the 18 really came in that first half and the beginning of the second half. They crowded that middle of the floor. They crowded the paint and they crowded the block, talking about Indiana on defense. They crowded so Hunter Dickinson didn't have that way to get into the lane. They crowded it so they couldn't get the slashers. Diabate couldn't slash. Devontae Jones couldn't slash. So they made Michigan become perimeter shooters. Michigan's not that good of a team perimeter shooting this year as a whole in terms of all the games, and they weren't that good. In fact, they were terrible perimeter shooting in the second half. They crowded that. They trusted that Michigan couldn't shoot the ball. They crowded, didn't allow Michigan to drive to the paint. And you saw what happened. Indiana went on a hunch, and by God, did it work.
I'll tell you, don't take anything away from Indiana, but they were home.
Mm-hmm.
That's
sure
playing and home cooking, and they used that crowd to their advantage big time. I almost forgot that they were home. The game's in freaking Indiana. I'm like, holy crap, how far is Bloomington? It's like an hour away, right, from downtown Indiana?
That's all it is. And I can't help but bring up Juwan Howard, too. I'm not sure, what it felt like, what it meant that he was away from the team this long or anything like that, but it was not a good I guess what's the word I'm looking for?
It was
not a good showing at all.
Yeah, also when you look at this game, right? When you look at this game, like 20-point comebacks don't happen.
No.
In college basketball, it's not enough time. Guys aren't skilled that way to come back from down 20, especially when you're playing a team that's probably better than you. Michigan's a better team than Indiana. They beat them in Indiana this year for the first time in the Lord knows how long. So Michigan's a slightly better team than Indiana. You don't think a team can come back on you. You don't expect the team to come back by 20. You're still young. A lot of these guys on the team, 17, 18, 19 years old. When they started the route, when they started coming back, and I'm talking about Indiana, Michigan didn't know what to do. Like, Michigan was caught. Like, Michigan, what's going on? Now they're trying to rush shots. Now they go into panic mode. Now once you're in panic mode, you look for your coach. You look for Phil Martelli. You look for you look for Juwan Howard to come get these guys, call timeouts, set these guys straight, get them to be in a situation to be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more calm. Hey, look, guys, we got this. Let's slow down. But that's what a coach does in the beginning moments. When you first see the route coming, when you first see that first 7-0 run, boom, timeout. 7 in a row,
right.
Timeout. Let's get it going. Let's relax. Let's pause. You don't let it go from 7-0 to 13-0 to 23-4. Like, you don't let it get to that point before you take that timeout.
So Michigan State will take the floor tonight at 6:30 in the 7-10 game. They play Maryland again. Maryland, of course, the team that they got off to a 17-1, 18-1 start in their last game. So it'll be interesting to see how Michigan State handles playing Maryland in a back-to-back game. We'll be rooting for the Spartans for sure. But Tom Mazawey, we got a big show for you today. We're going to talk to Dave Birkett coming up. What time's Berkey?
About 2:25. So
2:25. Okay, good. We'll talk to Birkett coming up in about 15 minutes. Plus,
Lions made a move today.
They did. Chris Prince, Beerman, will join us as well. Big show, guys. I'll tell you, not the show that I thought we were going to have today. I thought we were going to be talking about tomorrow's matchup and everything like that, but just not meant to be. That's for sure.
That would have been Michigan against Illinois, who they lost to last week as well. Illinois, a really good team, actually number one team in the Big Ten. They won the Big Ten. Would have been a good one. It would have been a huge win for Michigan to get that momentum if they could have won. But here we are trying to figure out, are we even getting in?
That's right. All right, guys, big show. We'll sit tight. We'll be right back. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
SMA has been leveraging relationships with notables and other former athletes for the past decade. I, being one I'm working with former NFL alumni Sean Jordan and SMA Sports Marketing Agency against the issues of mental health and also substance abuse disorder. If you or anyone you know need to have questions, you need to understand what's going on, you want to have questions, you want to talk to somebody regarding these issues, go to thesportsma.com, thesportsma.com, or you can check out the podcast that Sean and Sports Marketing Agency as well as Woodward Sports Network has just started. This is the F word, and the F word is for fentanyl. If you have any questions, once again, thesportsma.com.
Hey, everybody, it is bracket time. You know it. It's tournament time. I want to get you some money. Put $1,000 in your hands thanks to Woodward Sports and Papa Romano's. We want to see who can pick the best bracket in Detroit. I'm already in this thing, so see if you can challenge me as well. The bracket champion, you're going to win $1,000 in cash. Second place finisher, you get a pair of Adidas Yeezy Boost 350s, and the third place finisher gets a Papa Romano's pizza party.
Ooh.
Easy to enter. Just go to woodwardsports.com. Woodwardsports.com, powered by Papa Romano's Pizza. Get your bracket entry in. It's free. And win $1,000 if you got to do it. Try to beat me. It won't cost you anything to do that.
I won't mind some of Yeezy Boost, man. Maybe I get on Team Yeezy and buy the Denver Broncos.
There you go. Hey, guys, Dave Birkett coming up in about 10 minutes from now. We're excited to talk to him about some Lions stuff. And, of course, the Lions in the news today. According to Dave Birkett, the Lions have informed Trey Burke. Or Trey Burke.
Michigan
needed him.
Boy.
Michigan could have used him right now.
Michigan could have used him for sure today. The Lions have informed Trey Flowers that he will be released on the first day of the 2022 league year next week. Flowers, according to Birkett, been nothing but classes is his tweet here in Detroit. A good player, hit hard by injuries in the past 2 seasons. This seems like it was expected, Braylon, but nonetheless, Lions need some help there on the edge.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was expected, although, you wanted it to work. Trey Flowers was really good with the New England Patriots. You thought that the Quinn Trisha move of bringing him in was going to actually be a good one. It just doesn't happen. And you know what? That happens sometimes, man. Injuries are a real thing. Sometimes fans, they tend to get mad at injuries. Look, we can't help injuries. They happen, they come. But like you said, he was all class in the organization while he was here. So that's good. Now that you've removed Trey, more money that you have, your money goes up a little bit on that cap, so that's good. That's good to know. But now you still need a guy on that edge. You need an edge rusher. You need a guy on the defensive line. You need guys. What's the move? What are we talking about? What are we doing? What is Brad Holmes, when that mastermind that he's working gets rid of Trey Flowers, what is he thinking?
Yeah, and I think this would have been, look, Trey Flowers is a good player, right? I mean, he's a really good player, and as Dave pointed out, injuries have hit him. But I would feel a lot better about this if I knew that the Jags were going to take an offensive tackle there, and Hutchinson would have been available, and I'm just not sure that's the case. Now, that doesn't mean you sit there and you keep paying a player that you don't believe fits into your plans, but somebody's got to play there, and we'll see what the plan is for the Lions at the defensive end position.
Maybe the Jags want us to think that they're going to take Hutchinson and want us to trade up to number 1, like we are telling people we're going to take Malik Willis at number 2. And how about you quarterback-starved teams come up and get us? So Hutchinson might be there, guys. He just might be there.
I mean, we don't know, but it looks like Hutchinson.
Just because people are saying it looks that way?
Well, that's what this whole thing is about, right? I mean, it's all about the shadow.
It's a poker game.
Who was the first pick in the draft? God.
Which draft?
It was the Reggie Bush draft. Everybody.
Mario Williams.
Yes, Mario Williams. Everybody thought that Houston was going to take Reggie Bush in that 05. What was it? The 06
They
draft.
signed Mario before the draft.
And you're like, what?
They signed him that night,
So, I mean, we really don't know. Unless there's that top-tier quarterback at the top of the draft, which there isn't this time, you really have no idea what a team is going to do with that pick.
It's so funny. You said something yesterday, and I have a story. I remember I had, once Nintendo, I retired my Nintendo, and I moved up to a Super Nintendo, and I'm just playing Super Nintendo. And my cousin came over. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I don't know why it had been so long, but I hadn't seen him in a while. And all I played was Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo is all I thought about. My cousin came over, saw my old Nintendo in the closet. He said, oh, man, that looked amazing. He hooked that up on another TV in my house, and he played that. I beat my cousin up, moved him, and then I went and played the Nintendo, the whole thing. You want what you want until it's no longer there. We didn't want Aiden Hutchinson in terms of exactly. We know that was the pick. This is the pick. We're going to get him until somebody else wanted him, wanted it. Then it was like, no, we want him. I was like, no, I want my Nintendo back.
He's only got one move. His arms are short. He can't do this. He can't do that.
Kind of feels like your boy Kenny Pickett there. It's got the small hands.
Yeah. So did Michael Vick.
Got a good grade.
Right. Guys, speaking of other people's trash is other people's one man's trash is one man's treasure. Yep. Pro Football Focus and ESPN actually did this, right, Maz? ESPN?
It's Pro Football Focus on ESPN Plus.
There you go. Okay.
They work hand in hand.
Thank you. They put out the most overrated and underrated free agents on the market today. Yep. And one of the overrated guys is the guy that I like, and one of the underrated guys is the guy that you like. I love Mitchell Trubisky. They say that he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in this free agent period, and Marcus Mariota is the most underrated. Can I just read for you what they say about Trubisky? Trubisky ranked third to last in passing grade across his 4 seasons starting for the Chicago Bears. No downfield passing, poor decision-making, and inaccurate throws plagued Chicago's offense with the 2017 number 2 overall pick. It's been rumored that many quarterback-needy teams are interested in Trubisky's services anyway, blaming some of the struggles on Matt Nagy. There's enough data to show that the woes are a Trubisky problem. Let's just stick with him for a minute before we get to Mariota.
He's great against the Lions, though.
And I mentioned this as it relates to Mitchell Trubisky a couple of weeks back. Where you play and who you play for has every bit the impact, in my opinion, tell me if I'm wrong, as your talent level.
Yeah.
For instance, Ryan Tannehill playing for Adam Gase in Miami, a total disaster. Didn't even resemble a starting quarterback in the NFL. Put him in a good situation in Tennessee with a good head coach and a good running back and a couple of good wide receivers and a pretty good defense, and he's a Pro Bowler. Why can't Mitchell Trubisky be like that? Matt Nagy is a disaster of a head coach. We saw that he didn't know what to do with Justin Fields, too. So he's ruined every quarterback he's been around. That might be a little harsh.
I get it.
As a head coach, anyway, as a head coach, he's not been a successful offensive coach.
No, he hasn't. And once, in terms of before he took the head coaching job, he was called something of a quarterback guy. Like, he knows how to
guru, the whisperer.
I say whisperer. I tend to relax on the guru word, but yes, that's what he was known as. And when you take that head coaching job, a lot of times you don't have time to sit there with a quarterback. You don't have time to develop him. You don't have time to go through all his reads with him in the off season. So could be something there. But I tend to stem from he didn't win in college. And that was one of the big things. I wasn't high on Mitchell Trubisky when he came out. He didn't win in North Carolina. Like, you have to win in order to win in the NFL. You can't just learn how to win once you get to the NFL. So I didn't think he won enough in college for me. But, that second chance. He's now been under Brian Daboll for 2 years with Buffalo. He's now set behind Josh Allen. I think he could be a really good quarterback. The situation I think he needs to go to, don't go to one where he's walking in day one like the guy. Like, obviously, when you just trade for Carson Wentz going to the Washington Commanders, Carson Wentz is now the starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders. Yeah. Tyler Heineke is second. I think Mitchell Trubisky, and that's why you're hearing this stuff about him going to New York and, Daniel Jones, he has to go somewhere where he can battle, where he can compete, where he has to earn the job. And I think that would be a good situation. This could be a situation here, but it's all about the money. That's why I like Marcus Mariota. I think he was a winner in college. I think he fell into some similar situation. He's the guy, actually, that Ryan Tannehill replaced. Ryan Tannehill replaced Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota, there's an argument to be made that Mariota is the most alluring free agent quarterback on the market. That says a lot about the options there. But if there has to be a choice, it's got to be Mariota. He has played meaningful NFL action in just one game over the last 2 years. That was a Week 15 game of the 2020 season. The results were good, had a high grade. Prior season showed he should not be counted on to produce at that level, though, on a weekly basis. Yeah. His career best passing grade with the Titans, 72.1. It occurred in 2017, and the Titans offense ranked 17th in the NFL. Mariota is the definition of a mid-tier option that could be seen as a bridge for a team with a rookie quarterback. His next team needs to employ a play-action heavy offense that uses his skill in a design run game. You've been liking Mariota, and Mariota is a guy that, why couldn't he come here and compete with a Jared Goff? But I think Mariota, as a free agent, is going to want to go to a spot, and there will be plenty of options where he could be the clear-cut favorite to be the starter.
Yeah, I just think you like Mariota because of the number hit. I don't think he will cost you a lot. I think you bring him in. I think he has that athletic ability. He's still young. He's the same age as Mitchell Trubisky. They're both 28. They're sitting there at 28 years old. Like you said, when he's gotten in there, since he's been with the Raiders, or since he was with the Raiders, he showed improved. He showed differences from when he was in Tennessee. He showed a little bit more resolve in the pass decision-making. He showed in being in the pocket, sitting there, not trying to take off and run. But I think he still has that athletic ability. I think he has hella competition, or that competitive spirit in him. Let's not forget he's a Heisman Trophy winner. Has that competitive spirit in him. He was a winner in college at Oregon. He's looking for that next chance. Maybe it is Detroit. Maybe he doesn't want to go somewhere where all the chips or everything is on him and he has a little nervousness. Maybe he wants to go somewhere like Detroit, that's building from the ground up, and he can beat out Jared Goff. That's what I think he'd be thinking.
I think the Lions, and we got to ask Dave Birkett about this in another minute or so, they need a better backup system than they have. Blau wasn't the answer because they would have used them.
It's always been terrible, by the way.
It's terrible. They got Blau and Tim Boyle. They're not the answer. We can look at it. Yeah. An idiot that watches football can look at it and say, these guys just don't have it. I'm interested to hear what Dave has to say.
Who is the best backup quarterback the Lions have had in the last 15 years?
Charlie Batch?
Drew Stanton?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking, but that's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about.
Dante Culpepper.
Dave Craig.
But you're going back now.
Yeah.
Rodney Peete.
I will say this about Trubisky.
Eric Kramer.
I will say this about Trubisky. I think being around Daboll and Buffalo and being humbled, I think being a little bit older, I think that does benefit a player. But I hate the Giants.
But they're there at the Giants. Daboll is there with the Giants.
Yeah, I know, but they don't have any players. That's true. He is there.
They got players.
Yeah.
They
trade Saquon.
He's not
Galladay's a head case.
You got two receivers, Kadarius Toney, and you got Galladay, and you got Saquon.
You can count on Galladay?
Yes, you can. This year you have to. He had to be humbled from. I'm sorry, Braylon's rolling his eyes.
You give somebody who's not worth it the money that they're clamoring. They get the money and they don't produce. They don't learn a lesson. So Galladay hasn't learned a lesson. Now, maybe it'll happen sometime. I think he's still young. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't know him personally. I just know what I saw on the field. He wasn't worth $20 million. I'm sitting here arguing about what Devontae Adams is worth. Meanwhile, he's making the same amount of money as Devontae Adams, but they do have talent. I mean, you still have Saquon. I don't think they're open to trading Saquon, but they haven't talked about it. Like they're not going to trade Saquon. No one's going to give them what they want for Saquon or what Saquon is worth. Literally, keep Saquon. You have Kadarius Toney. Galladay's coming back. He's healthy. Let's just start there. He's healthy. Shepard's still there, and then Ingram, whatever they're going to do with him. So they have some pieces. And then you still have Dayball. And don't forget, Mitchell Trubisky was a Pro Bowler his first year in the league. So, I mean, the talent is there. And maybe now the mental is caught up with the talent.
Ken Brown, of course, texted me in. Don't forget about Sean Hill.
Sean Hill, baby.
Oh,
shout out to KB, Kenny Brown. We appreciate you, bud. Yeah, Sean Hill might be the best backup quarterback this franchise has had in the last 15 years. We're going to take a break. Come right back. We'll get Dave Birkett on the line. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz for the Folding Warehouse and Hamtramck and your great host, Chris and Noni Hutt. Don't forget to get out there and get your foal on. Throw out football at those bowling pins. Tonight is bowling night for me at Harbor Lanes, but the way to go is the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck. Throw it out football. Get those frustrations out of your system. A couple of ways to play: $10 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 10 of your closest friends for $120. Have the lane for 2 hours. You want to get your drink on? They've got multiple full bars, over 100 beers to offer, and that $2 mystery beer machine. Don't forget, you can bring your own food in or even have it delivered. So go get your foal on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
Oh, yeah, but what you really need to do as well is you need to get a membership at Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential, because it's only $10 a month. That's what I'm talking about, $10 a month. Or if you sign up in person, it's $0 down. Planet Fitness has over 2,000 locations. That means wherever you are, there is a Planet Fitness near you. Join now, planetfitness.com. Planetfitness.com. Your fitness is essential.
All right, let's bring him in. Dave Birkett. Do we have I'm sorry, Sam. No, I'm sorry. Never mind. We'll just keep chatting here as we try to get
Back
Dave
to
Birkett.
the Lions.
Yeah.
Go back to the free agency because there's a guy on the safeties that is an overrated safety.
Hey, I'm here, guys.
Oh, no.
Dave.
We hear him. We got him. Okay, sorry. We're still trying to work out the kinks on the phone lines, Dave. Heaven forbid. Still trying to work out the kinks. My goodness. There we go. Dave, how you doing, first and foremost? Thanks for the time, my friend.
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you guys today?
Doing great. Let's open it up with the news that you broke just less than an hour ago. Lions informed Trey Flowers that his services will no longer be needed. What do you say to that? Expected, not expected? What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty much expected by everyone. It was just the timing of it. If I read the contract right, he's got a $1.6 million roster bonus that's due next week, and it's guaranteed for injuries. So maybe the Lions have let this thing go on a few extra days to see if there's a chance that he gets cleared by then. But regardless, look, Trey was a good player. Obviously, wasn't able to contribute up to, I think, his standards here in Detroit because of the injuries. Really the last 2 seasons, but good run defender, added some pass rush when he was healthy that first season that he was here, and he was one of the locker room leaders. So Lions definitely have a need at the pass rush position, and I think they'll find somebody to help them in the draft there with that number 2 pick.
Dave Birkett joins us. Dave, real talk. I literally had to say this before the show started, or actually when we first started the show, is injuries happen. A lot of times people, they get mad at players for getting hurt. But injuries happen, and one of the big things you said in your tweet was he was a class guy, and that's the one thing I want people to take him from Trey Flowers. With that said, I got you 4 moves right here. I got 3 free agent moves for you, and then I have the pick at number 2 for you. Are you ready?
Let's hear them.
I need Quandre, I need Bobby Wagner, I need Allen Robinson, and I need Jordan Davis at the number 2 pick. What do you think?
Ooh, I don't know if I'm down with all those moves. I think Allen Robinson's one that I could definitely see happening. Let's put that out there first. I mean, I think there's mutual interest in both sides, and maybe making that happen. Allen's obviously from Detroit, and he's had a really nice career. Didn't have a great year last year for a variety of reasons, but I think he would fill that number 1 receiver need that they have. He could be a contributor on the outside and really help Amon-Ra St. Brown and the rest of that receiving core. So I'm down with that one if that one happens. Look, I still think Bobby Wagner's got a lot to give. Obviously, he's a good player, but I don't know that he's coming to Detroit. If I'm being honest, reading the tea leaves right now, I think Alex Anzalone might be back at the linebacker spot. I don't know that that's been determined or anything, but I know there was at least some talks going on about making that happen.
He ain't nobody Wagner.
And look, no, he's not. But you know how it is. It takes 2 to tango there, right?
True.
The other move that I could see happening, and look, I don't know. He's going to cost a lot of money, but there's ties here, and if the Lions really want to get somebody that would impact the defense, is Marcus Williams. The New Orleans Saints safety, and I love Quandre. He was obviously here before. Left on not the best terms, but that was with a different regime. But I think Marcus Williams would be a guy that if they could get him, and if the money was right, because he's going to cost a lot of money, he would have a significant impact on that defense.
Yeah, the reason why I like Allen Robinson, obviously I agree with you, all the other picks, they were just kind of like fool's gold. But Allen Robinson, the reason why I like that, not even just because he's from here, shout out to Orchard Lake St. Mary's, it's because he screams and reeks of number 1 wide receiver. That's what the Lions have, man. That's what they need. When you literally hear all the names thrown out there, Christian Kirk or this guy, like none of those are number 1 guys. Like it's a hodgepodge. It's like a situation they're trying to set up, and how the Patriots have basically worked their receiving core over the past 25 years. Allen Robinson's a number 1 guy that when you see him, you're like, okay, that's their number 1 wide receiver. Now you have Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I got to get Allen Robinson, at least Allen Robinson.
Let me ask you a question about Allen Robinson, Dave.
Yeah.
What will he command on the open market? I mean, there seems to be no top-tier wide receivers left. I mean, everybody's signed. So how much money will he cost, and are the Lions willing to pay it?
Yeah, look, I mean, Allen Robinson is I think Braylon's right. Like he's the last guy that's left, right, of that sort of top tier. Mike Williams gets a deal, and Chris Godwin gets franchised. So there's the couple guys that were maybe in that top receiver group is really now down to Allen Robinson. And so if you want that guy, like he's the guy you got to go get. And I don't know what he's going to cost. I mean, $16 million a year. I mean, somewhere in that range probably is what he's going to cost. And I do think the Lions will, be willing to be in that tier. Look, when I was down in Indy last week, I had talked to someone who knows the receiver market well, and he said the Lions, indicated to him, that they were. I'm not going to mention the specific, free agent receiver's name, just because. I don't think he would want me to share that, but that the Lions were valuing that player, where he had valued him. This is an agent, right? Where he had valued him in sort of the top of the market, and so I think the Lions are willing to spend that money on the right guy. Obviously, there's a cap that they'll have with all of those guys, and if Allen Robinson does get too expensive, I think then they move on down to the next guy. But look, for what the Lions need in their receiving core, Allen Robinson, I think, is the best fit. If they can't get him, you can make things work with a guy like Christian Kirk, who's, talking to people in Arizona, they view him as an elite slot receiver who has some flexibility to play outside, so you can do some different things with your receiving core. But I agree that Allen Robinson is the best fit for what the Lions need, and the best complement for what they already have.
Dave Birkett joins us, Detroit Free Press, Lions Beat, best in the biz, and our good buddy here on Woodward Sports. Dave, refresh my memory. When was the last time the Lions signed a free agent that came here, pomp and circumstance, and really hit it big here? I'm just scratching.
Hit it big.
Yeah,
yeah.
Golden Tate? Is it Golden Tate? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin Jones was the best receiver coming out of that class. I forget, someone got cut maybe after free agency started that year, another receiver that got more money, but Marvin got sort of top of the receiver market money for the free agents that year, if I'm not mistaken, and he obviously had a good year. Golden Tate was sort of in a similar boat where I don't think you looked at either one of those guys as a number one type, but they certainly, lived up to, if not outperformed their contracts. Trey Flowers, he was the last big free agent they signed, but I don't think anyone, given the sack production that he had, would say he quite lived up to that contract. But, before that, I don't know. I mean, was it?
I'm scratching my head.
To go back into the 2000s, like a Kyle Vandenbosch. Yeah, Nada was traded too, right? Yeah. So maybe a Kyle Vandenbosch or Nate Burleson, who were similar. Yeah, Reggie, same thing. I mean, Reggie didn't get great money, but he was an impact signing and a guy that the Lions had targeted, and he certainly had a 1,000-yard season. So free agency is a lot of times it's fool's gold. It is some of those sort of mid-tier signings that you hit on that really reward your franchise.
Last thing, Dave, before we want to take a quick break here. Backup quarterbacks. They're out there. Do you think the Lions go with this Blau and Tim Boyle backup plan going forward?
I think one of those guys is probably back. I don't know about both of them. I mean, I think, the Lions would there's probably a chance to upgrade, one of those spots a little bit. I don't have a good read yet on whether that will happen through the draft or not. I tend to think not, but that's really, more my gut feeling than it is anything I'm hearing from the inside there. So I don't see the Lions as being big-time players for a backup quarterback. That's just, when you're a 3-win team that's, going to be fighting for 7 or 8 wins next year, I don't know that that's where you need to allocate your money. But, I do think, that they probably want to improve one of those two backup spots going forward.
What the hell's Chase doing?
Hey, Dave, do you have a couple of more minutes for us? I don't want to keep you if you got to run, but that's great. All right, I'm going to take a 30-second pause. More with Dave Birkett. I'm going to ask him about Jeff Okuda. Going to ask him about the draft. We'll do that all next. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Think you're a big shot?
Oh, excuse me, it goes down.
Think you can make the big shot?
Washington fires. Hits.
Woodward Sports wants to send you to the finals for college basketball April 2nd through the 4th in New Orleans. That's right, you and a friend in the Big Easy. We'll take care of the airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the finals for college basketball. Listen Monday through Friday to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy and the bottom line for your chance to qualify. If you can make the big shot, you and a friend are getting out of the cold and to New Orleans.
Got it.
Keep listening and watching for your next chance to win. Powered by Planet Fitness, Syntron, and the Sports Marketing Agency.
And it's over. Anything can happen in March.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, I want to tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet, located in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. You heard about that new 2023 Corvette Z06 coming out. You want to get one? Hell yeah, you do. 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. That's right. For more, head over to CorvetteKing.com. CorvetteKing.com. We're actually going to be heading out to Les Stanford in the next couple of months when that Corvette gets to the showroom. Absolutely. For all your other Chevy and Cadillac needs, check out LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
You got that right.
I got good baseball news.
Oh, I don't want to talk baseball until they get a deal.
20 minutes to possibly a new deal.
Well, let me know in 20 minutes.
You bet.
Let me know in 20 minutes, okay?
19 minutes and 52 seconds.
Talking to our good friend Dave Birkett, Lions beat writer, Detroit Free Press. You can find him on Twitter at Dave Birkett. Dave, I wanted to ask you about a guy that I see working out online. In these videos, he's posted a couple, maybe not his Twitter, but people are posting videos of Jeff Okuda. I am rooting for this guy so hard. I feel like we got the news. It looks like he's changing his number to number 1. Where do you think the Lions organization is with Okuda? Is that a player that they're counting on in 2022?
I think it's a player they're hopeful for in 2022, but I think it would be wrong to count on him in 2022, at least to play a significant starting role, because frankly, we haven't seen it yet in 2 years, and he was barely on the field last year, and now he's coming off a pretty serious injury, ruptured Achilles tendon. That, especially for a player at that position, you never know, how close they're going to get back to who they were. So I think it's, number 3 pick in the draft. Obviously, a couple years ago, you don't want to write him off. He's talented. He's got the size. I mean, he's got a lot of what you like and what you want in your cornerbacks. But if you're going into your season counting on Ermanni and Jeff Okuda to be your 2 starting cornerbacks, I think that's a mistake. I think you need to make sure you have somebody else at that second starting cornerback spot. And then if Okuda comes back to what you think he can be, and Jerry Jacobs returns from that knee injury in timely fashion, then all of a sudden you have a really strong secondary.
Dave, I feel like in years past we have known, or at least we have felt we've known, who the Lions are going to go after in terms of free agent targets. I feel like I have no idea. I can't peg that player out. I mean, years ago you knew they were going after Trey Flowers. I mean, it just looked like that. I don't know who's on their shopping list. Does anybody know who's on their shopping list this year?
Close to the vest.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about Allen Robinson. I think he will be on their shopping list. Again, I don't know, what that money's going to get to, and exactly how he feels about coming home. I would think he would like it. I've heard, obviously the chance to come home and maybe the chance to play against his old team, the Bears, would be, a couple factors favorable for him. But we'll see. Money obviously rules these situations more often than not. The Marcus Williams one, I think a lot of people have linked the Lions to him. I don't know how much, legs there are there. Maybe we'll see what happens with Tracy Walker and where the money comes in with Tracy Walker, if the Lions are able to get something done before the open of free agency there. But other than that, I wouldn't expect them to be huge players in free agency. They have money, but this is a team that, look, they want to build, and I think especially defensively through the draft, they have a chance to really get some impact starters or players that will be impact players in time, with those first 3 picks. And if they are able to surround Jared Goff with enough weapons, I think that will help that offense succeed, and then build that defense the right way. That's what I think you'll turn around later this year, next year, whenever it is, and say, wow, this Lions franchise is on the right track.
Hey, Dave, before the combine, everyone was like, okay, first pick, Jacksonville, they're taking the O-lineman from Alabama. Lions are going to probably take Hutchinson, maybe somebody else on the defensive line. Then they work out. Hutchinson blows it all away. Now, all of a sudden, everyone has him number 1 going to Jacksonville. If that does happen, what do the Lions do at 2, and what do they do at 32 and 34? Do you move up?
Yeah.
Do you back down? Do you need a receiver in the middle? Because there's 5 unbelievably really good receivers. But I don't think the guys will probably agree that they're not top-tier guys. They're not Jamar Chase guys. What do you do?
Right. So I was doing my mock draft this morning, and I was wrestling with the exact same question. I think I'm going to go through an exercise where, Aiden Hutchinson does go number 1 to Jacksonville. I don't think that's a slam dunk. The Jaguars still could use an offensive lineman, and there's I think a debate about whether you should build that around or do what you can to help Trevor Lawrence, or with Cam Robinson coming back, whether they should take Hutchinson, who I think is right up there on most teams' draft boards as the number 1 player in the draft. So Hutchinson goes number 1. Look, to me, the Lions still need a pass rusher. I mean, that's still a huge need, and the value at number 2 there is more than it would be for a safety like Kyle Hamilton. And Brad Holmes said last year at the draft, maybe it was kind of jokingly, but I think someone asked him the last day, like, you still take best position available going forward, and he said, yeah, unless it's offensive line, right, next year. And I think it was kind of meant as a joke, but that's sort of the position that they're in now, where there's going to be a couple offensive tackles who might be there at number 2. I don't see that happening. I would think it's going to be between Kayvon Thibodeaux. Look, don't rule out Jermaine Johnson, Florida State edge rusher. I mean, the Lions were with him at the Senior Bowl. He had a really big week down there. That's absolutely something that I could see. He had a really nice season for Florida State, and I think if you you go back and he played on that Georgia defense a couple of years ago too. So I think there's a lot to like about him. And then beyond that, I think the other Georgia defensive lineman, Trayvon Walker, is probably the third pass rusher that, if Aiden Hutchinson is gone, those are sort of the 3 guys that you have to do a lot of work on: Walker, Johnson, and Thibodeaux, and see which one of those guys fits not just your system, but who you want to be in this rebuild too. And if you think Thibodeaux can be that guy, I think his tape is probably the best of the bunch, and that's probably the guy, if he's the culture fit, that would fit the Lions at number 2.
Dave Birkett, Lions writer, Detroit Free Press. Dave, you just mentioned Thibodeaux, and it's the guy that strikes me from the jump here. He seems to be falling and falling and falling with every mock draft. We see players like that, whether it's an off-the-field issue, whether it's a selfish issue, whatever the reason is, we see players fall each and every year. It seems to be Thibodeaux is that guy this year. I mean, he was the number 1 player in the draft 3 months when the season ended.
To start the season, to end the season.
To start the season, to end the season. What do you make of that? How much of that is just banter, or how much of that is real? And then how does it translate to the field?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think he was the number 1 player at the end of the season. I mean, I wrote something back in October that was, I may have told you guys this story before, right? Thibodeaux had that huge game against UCLA that Brad Holmes was out there to see, and I tweeted something like "Tank for Thibodeaux," you know what I mean? Just some throwaway line on Twitter, like, "Oh man, he had a great game," and I had someone reach out to me and say, "Hey, Thibodeaux is not the guy the media have made him out to be. Like, he is not the number 1 pick in the draft." And I was like, what? It just kind of caught me a little bit off guard, and I ran it by another, scout that I knew, and he was like, yeah. And the first guy had told me, he's more like a 2nd-round pick, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of aggressive there. And so I ran it by another scout, and he was like, well, don't go that far, but he's not Myles Garrett, he's not this sure thing number 1. Like, and it's not that he's a bad guy. I just think there are some culture fit questions. When I think some NFL teams were a little turned off by Thibodeaux. He's got his own NFT and he's got his own cryptocurrency and these, some of the business things that maybe they look at him and wonder if that's taken, precedent over football and whether, he's always has the motor that he needs to on the field. And when you compare him to Hutchinson, I think that stands out. And so I think that's where, the questions have to come in, or the decision has to come in as to, how much he values football, or whether he just values football as a tool to build his brand, and so that's I think where the question is. So he is still a top talent in this draft. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. I could see him going to the Lions at number 2, but I do have questions if he's the right culture fit for Dan Campbell's Lions, and I think that's what the Lions have to determine here over the next 6 weeks or so.
Yeah, Dan, Dave, I actually agree with you on that one. I think he's going to be a really good player in this league. I think sometimes too much is made of players when they may have outside visions that aren't just football, but that doesn't make them bad players, or that doesn't make them less committed to the football field. I just think we in Detroit, we're just still trying to figure it out. You talk about Brad Holmes. He was really big in what the Rams have been doing over the years. You see Snead at the parade, F them picks, but then you see the Lions, you see Brad Holmes, and you see Dan Campbell leave the combine before it even starts. So it's like, where are they at? There's a ton of free agents out there. They have more money now that they got rid of Trey Flowers, or that they released Trey Flowers. I know you asked Earl, or Ryan asked you about other free agents. What is on Brad Holmes' mind right now? Like, is there any insight? Is there anything you heard where you can give us a little snippet, a little nugget of something that they might be thinking moving forward before the draft in April?
Yeah, well, I would say this. I mean, even though Brad left the combine early, I wouldn't read too much into that, because I think, just the way the combine has sort of evolved in the access to other information, the GPS play data, and it's maybe not quite as important for some people to be there, after they get through the meetings and after they sort of size these guys up in person. So I think there were a lot of NFL people that were in Indy, but for only a short period of time this year. And look, Brad, he comes from that Les Snead school, so he's going to use these picks. He's a former college director, and I think he's going to use these picks, and I think he'll continue to draft well. But I think when the time comes, if the Lions are in a position to do something like the Rams did and go all in or use their draft picks to acquire players that they need, I don't think Brad will be scared in the least to do that. I think he's the type of guy that he knows exactly what state the Lions are in right now of their building process, and that means building young and doing things the right way. But there will come a time where maybe you need that little extra push to get over the hump, and so you have to start valuing things differently, picks differently, veteran players, key free agents differently. And I think in year 2, that's probably not quite the time for the Lions to go there yet. But it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case one day.
Dave, you said you were working on your mock draft. Can you let us know when that is out? Because that'll give us a full day of material to talk about. We can talk about mock drafts every single day. I love them.
Tomorrow morning. I mean,
Yes!
I do one before the combine, and then I have one after the combine, and then after free agency. So, and I don't think I answered your question earlier about 32 and 34. I mean, look, as I sort of look at this too, I mean, it's, who knows what the Lions are going to do right now. But I truly do think with their first 4 picks or 3 picks, let's say 3 of the first 4, they have a shot to get some guys on defense that can really be, day one starters or really help this team out. And part of the reason I think I went with, a pass rusher beyond the positional value at 2 over let's say a Kyle Hamilton is because I think there's going to be some good safeties there when the Lions are picking at
Dax Hill, baby. Go Blue.
And, I mean, look, Dax Hill's going to be, let's just say 25 to 50, right? Dax Hill, Jaquan Brisker's a guy I like from Penn State, the Georgia safety, Zine. I think, I think there's a bunch of guys that are sort of in that mix and when you look at Brad Holmes' draft history with the Rams, they took a lot of safeties in that round 2, 3, 4 area that became really productive players. So one school of thought around the NFL is that, hey, you can get those guys in that area, and I think the Lions are perfectly positioned to do that. So same goes for linebacker. It's a position that's often overlooked, but I think there's some guys that really fit what the Lions would like to do in the middle of their defense that could be had late in round 1 or early in day 2.
On the Ermanni Edwards program tomorrow at 2 p.m., we will be leading with the Dave Birkett mock draft. Lead story. Look for it in the Freep. Follow Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
On Twitter, at Dave Birkett. And, of course, read them online, freep.com. Pick up a free press, too, why don't you? Great stuff, Dave. We appreciate the time, my friend.
Thanks, man.
Dave,
you got it, guys. Talk to you again.
You got it. Dave Birkett, one of the best. Is that great or what? I'm now anticipating that mock draft.
Of course.
Nice. He set it up for us.
It's like a mock draft
We
for
just
an
gave a
NFL
preview.
fan.
Yeah.
It's like crack.
We just
Right.
gave a preview of it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's a mock draft of someone that is a beat writer for your city,
Right.
for your team. It gives you more insight of what he believes the Lions are going to do, the teams around the draft are going to do. So gives you a little bit better than watching somebody from afar.
Hearing him, I'm kind of thinking that they are going to sign Allen Robinson. I kind of get a feeling.
Let's talk about that a little bit more. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Hey, gang, how would you like to win $100,000? You heard me right, $100,000. All you have to do is walk into a Lady Jane's today, get a precision haircut, and register for your chance to be 6 figures richer. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. There's over 100 locations nationwide. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. All you have to do, walk in, sign in, sit down. Before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Ooh-wee. That's right. Win $100K. Lady Jane's precision haircut. Wicked awesome.
I'm still staying on this Bob Nightingale Major League Baseball. It could happen, man. April 7th would be the start if they can get a deal done in the next 10 minutes.
Uh-oh.
April 7th.
You know what I'm telling you?
Yeah, tell you when it's over.
Talk to me when there's a deal.
I got you.
I don't care about it unless there's a deal. Bob Nightingale can do all the tweeting. Jeff Passan can do all the tweeting about, the international draft. They're close on a deal. They've agreed in principle to the international draft. These sides have been negotiating all night after going 79 days without talking to each other. Now you're worried about it.
Get ready. 5 minutes away from post time. 5 minutes away.
Stop it. Don't be ridiculous.
It's going to happen.
I hope so.
Looks like NFL insider Jordan Schultz. He thinks the Lions are going after Bobby Wagner.
So if you're Bobby Wagner, and Jordan Schultz just tweeted that 3 teams interested in Bobby Wagner. The Jets.
Baseball's back.
Yeah? We have it?
We have it.
It's back?
Good.
MLB and MLBPA agreement has been accepted by both parties. Sides are ironing out the final details, but a deal has been made as per Ken Rosenthal.
Ooh, Rosie.
Baseball's back, and Rosie gets the scoop. Good
well, it's
for him.
about time. You know what? If they play 162 games and they get it done, great. And we're happy about that.
That's cool.
It's great. Look, we want baseball.
Do we
right?
see opening day?
We want baseball. If opening day is saved, you're saying on April 8th?
Could be. I'll let you know when they iron out the final details.
Very good. So baseball is back. That is a good thing. We're not going to get too crazy about it because, again, if they're back. I want to stay with the Lions, though, if I could.
I'm ready.
And I forgot what I was going to say now.
I'm sorry. I had to cut you off.
Jets, Detroit Lions.
Yeah, so if you're Bobby Wagner, and again, Jordan Schultz tweets out that the 3 teams interested in Bobby Wagner, the Jets, the Lions, and the Patriots. Obviously, there's one contender on that list, and that's the Patriots.
But there's also one team that's not going to pay you on that list, and that's the Patriots.
And I don't know how much Bobby Wagner is going to command. You know, I mean, is Bobby Wagner still the Pro Bowl?
How much does he have in his tank?
Hold on.
I'm asking you.
Hold on, and I'm about to tell you. I'm going to need you to stop. 8 years in a row, he's made All-Pro in the NFL. 8 years in a row, he's had 160 or more tackles. Bobby Wagner is a tackling machine. He is a leader. He doesn't get hurt. Missed one game this year. He's at 170 this year in tackles, which broke his record. Missed one game, would actually probably had 20 tackles and broke the record and went 190. He is a tackling machine that just loves to play football. Headache. He's a leader. He's been in 2 Super Bowl, starting linebacker on both of those. Got drafted in 2012. That means this is year 11 for him. Still has a lot of tread on that tires is the word we like to use. That man can play. That man can still go. Commanding, he still – I think he would take his number down to play solid ball, to be somewhere that'll win. Bobby got a lot of ball left in him.
And there should be 31 teams after him, not 3.
2 things I like about Bobby Wagner, aside from the talent aspect of it. 2 things I do like. He's a championship player, and he's a veteran. And you put those 2 things into one guy, and you put him in that room, that's a room full of young players. It's a room full of young players. I mean, Michael Brockers is the oldest player, I think, on the Lions. Is Michael Brockers 31 the oldest player on the Lions right now?
I think he might be.
You know, especially with cutting Trey Flowers.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can go through a season without having some type of veteran influence. And, you know, if you had Brockers in a defense with Bobby Wagner, it's 2 guys that have been to a Super Bowl. Wagner, of course, won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I like that. Should have had 2. I like that.
Guy that you can rely on, guy that you can depend on.
I'm just saying, if I'm Wagner, I'm probably not coming to the Lions. I'm probably going to look for any
That's
other.
That's how Dave spun it. That's how Birkett spun it to us.
I'm probably looking at any other team. But, again, if you're Wagner, you got a guy that'll get after you in Aaron Glenn. You got a head coach in Dan Campbell. You know, both men. You look at the coaching staff for the Lions.
But there's
a lot of sexy things about it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. It's all about the interview. It's all about how you present the opportunity to him. It's about how you talk to him. It's about what you tell him. When you bring Bobby Wagner into Allen Park and you're Dan Campbell and you sit him down and you talk to him and you show him what's going on in the Detroit Lions, you have a chance to show him Aaron Glenn. You have a chance to show him Ben Johnson, your new offensive coordinator or your offensive coordinating assistant. You have a chance to show him the players on your team. You have a chance to show him what you guys have been building, what the culture is, what you guys hope to gain. You get him a chance, a little insight, a little preview into who else you're going to pick up in free agency. You get to preview him to who you're thinking about drafting and what you're thinking about doing. The NFC North is up for grabs, kind of, sort of, if you will. It's all about the presentation when you talk to him. Like, all you have to look at, don't look at the fact that the New England Patriots are a winning team and they're a team that's going to be there and they're a contender. Look at the presentation. Is our presentation to Bobby Wagner on what he can be and what we're going to be moving forward, is it going to be better than Robert Saleh and New York Jets? Is it going to be better than dry-ass Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? You have to have the presentation to bring him in. Because players, sometimes we want to be wine, we want to be dime, but we want to be told the truth. And you sit that man down, tell him the truth, tell him what it is. Dan Campbell's a former player. He knows what the hell he's doing. It's all about the presentation, and, he can come.
Yeah, Bobby, we want you to...
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to be on our team.
I want you to replace Kyle Van Noy for us.
Okay. I'm not going to pay you.
Can you,
no.
can
you
you replace Kyle
Bobby's
Van Noy for us?
Bobby's a tackling machine. He's great in the community, man. He's
Seattle let him go.
He's what the hell you need. What money? I mean, they're
rebuild.
They're just completely rebuilding.
They're just completely rebuilding.
And that's always been Pete Carroll. Like, Pete Carroll does not like older guys. He gets rid of them. He likes the young guys. He's always been that way.
Guys, there's so much I want to do in hour number 2. I want to clean up one thing regarding the Allen Robinson to the Lions. I want to ask you guys a question about that. So we'll talk about the breaking news with baseball coming back. What impact, if any, has the lockout had on you or on fans, in your opinion? And I got to talk about Cade Cunningham, because even though the Pistons lost last night, Sam, you were in the house last night. I was watching the game a little bit. Seen clips online. That was the most full I've seen the Palace LCA for a Pistons game that didn't involve the Warriors or the Lakers
or somebody
ever.
Great, yeah.
Ever really. It was really awesome to see. So,
by the way, there is a game tonight. There are 2 teams in basketball that are playing tonight for the first time since a mega trade. They play tonight. We got to get there as well.
We'll talk about that as well. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
What do you get when you mix fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken with our savory signature sauces? The best damn wings you've ever had. Wing Snob Traditional Wings. Try our Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper. And we toss them to perfection. When your wings are this good, it's easy to be a snob. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wingsnob. We just have better wings.
And a miraculous catch.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey, gang, it's Maz for Chili Peppers Tanning. That's right. Hey, gang, it is. Everyone needs some vitamin D injection, so why not get it at Chili Peppers Tanning? That's right. The cleanest salons in the D. Spotless, sanitized rooms, and trained, certified tanning professionals. Join that Pepper Club. They will beat all competitors by $5. Don't forget, Sawyer's favorite, Australian Gold, designer skin, Cal-Tan, and Swedish beauty lotions. Ooh-wee. Right, Ryan?
There you go, baby.
ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, 26 locations, and more on the way. Vitamin D headquarters. Get there. ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
I've never been tanning. Like, what's that like? What's that experience?
It's been a minute for me, but you just go, you relax, you lay in a bed, and
wear headphones, hear some music, and
put lotion,
take a little nap for 10 minutes.
You feel good.
I never wore anything.
It's 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Unless you're a female, you're trying to, like, I guess, tan a certain area,
right.
like 10 lines, I guess.
Yeah.
But do you use 10 minutes? That's how long it is?
Sure, that's all I needed.
Okay.
I think so. It's been a minute. Those beds are
There's
nice.
so many different ways to tan, too.
I was born with a tan.
You can stand up. You can lay down. You can do it. I was born with a tan.
Hey, man, shout out to my mom and dad. Appreciate
Absolutely.
You guys.
Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button. We certainly appreciate it. Get involved in the YouTube chat. 21.2 thousand subscribers on YouTube. And, man, we're having a lot of fun doing the show. We're having a lot of fun with hour number 2 because there's a lot going on. If you're just joining us, breaking news, Major League Baseball and the Players Association have agreed to a deal. Baseball is back there ironing out the final details.
They finally hit a deadline.
Yeah.
They finally
did.
One.
So that is good news. When we get information about that, we will pass it along. Yesterday, they canceled another 2 series, so 4 series total. Not sure.
They took that back now.
Yeah, they did take that back. So we'll see what happens with that. So good for them. The Michigan Wolverines with an all-time epic collapse of proportions that I'm not sure I've ever seen. Up 60-43 with 12 minutes to go in the second half. They're up by 13 at the half, up by 17 with 12 and a half to go, and then we're outscored 31-9 the rest of the way, and lose 74-69 in Juwan Howard's return to the bench.
Yeah, I mean, if you were talking about a Michigan team of 2, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, this would have been bigger news to me 5, 6, 7 years ago in terms of those Michigan teams that went deep into the NCAA tournament. Also won the Big Ten tournament with Derek Walton 3 years ago. But this team has been struggling all year. This team started out cold. They were cold in the middle. They had bad losses. Like, they didn't just lose games this year. They've had some bad losses, and they look bad in perimeter shooting, rebounding. Point guard play has been non-existent since Derek Walton left. So, yes, it was a collapse of epic, and I say epic proportion. But just watching it, man, it doesn't surprise me that it happened to this Michigan team. Like, if you would have told me that happened to Michigan State today, like that Michigan State team, that would have surprised me. I'd be like, the fact that it happened to this Michigan team, I hate it. I still, as I'm wearing this Michigan hoodie, but it doesn't necessarily surprise me considering the play that has happened all season long.
Are they a tournament team? We'll find out on Sunday. And if they don't get in, it's their own fault.
Yeah.
If they don't get in, it's their own fault. So Tom Mazawey looks at me with a grin on his face, and he says,
I got suckered.
Oh, God.
and baseball.
I got fake Ken Rosenthal. Baseball is not back yet.
No. I got suckered too.
Baseball is not back yet.
Oh my God.
Well, start deleting your tweets.
No, it happened.
I just accepted mine. I wrote, "Damn it." I'll take my punishment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Luckily, I
got suckered.
I didn't tweet it. Ish.
Keep talking because I gotta.
Don't be mad at me.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad. At the end of the day, it's what it is. Ryan said it wasn't gonna happen. It's one of those situations. The deadline tomorrow will be a deadline. Then there'll be another deadline. So until we see your boy Manfred get on there and say so, I'm not believing anything until I hear it out of Manfred's mouth.
So there you go. You're up to date. Don't look at me that way.
Anyway, NBA.
Hold on before we get to the NBA. Let's talk about something people care about. Sorry, I had to. I'm gonna. That was funny. Just this Allen Robinson thing before we get to the NBA, before we get to Cade, and then the game tonight. I was watching Good Morning Football. They tweeted out something about the underrated free agents that are going to cash in big, get the bag, as they say, bag of cash.
The bag.
Christian Kirk was the number one player that they were talking about here in terms of underrated free agent that's going to get paid. And I think it was Mike Garofalo from NFL Network who said his free agent number per year on the low end will be $10 million. On the high end will be $15 million. So I say to you, Braylon Edwards, or I ask you.
Yeah.
And Birkett was talking about how Allen Robinson was going to get $16 million, or that's what you pay for Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
If it's possible for Christian Kirk to get upwards of $15 million, and Devontae Adams is tagged at $20 million, what does Allen Robinson make? I mean, is he beyond $20 million? Is he between 15 and 20? Did Birkett have it right when you say 16, maybe 16, 17? Do you go up to 18? I mean, he's not going to get paid more than Devontae Adams at 20, is he?
Well, Devontae got franchised, so Devontae Adams' price at 20 isn't it's not a real price. It's more so this is the averages of the top 5 players, and then how long he's been in the league. Christian Kirk should not get more than Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson should be upwards of around, I would say, $18 to $20 million. And it's just it's the talent that he has. It's what he brings to the table. It's what you watch when he's on one-on-one with defensive backs. It's what he does when he's healthy. Last year, the thing that can help players get Allen Robinson, a team like Detroit, guys trying to get him, he didn't play well last year because he was playing with Andy Dalton. And then he wasn't playing with Andy Dalton. He was playing with Justin Fields, a guy in which our boy over there, Matt Nagy, did not take care of, did not put an offense in play for him, didn't have any rhythm, any consistency. So his numbers are fleeting, and that helps the Lions because you look at that. Well, he only had 410 last year. Then he had 2,000-yard season before that. But the season before that, he only played one game because he was out with injury. So I think the 4 seasons ago and then last year will help the Detroit Lions get him probably about $18 million if they want to go there. I think he's an $18 million season, but he's a number one. You talk about Christian Kirk. I mean, Christian Kirk had good numbers, but when you talk about getting this number one, let me sit back. When you talk about getting this number one wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, when you talk about having a guy that can blow the top off, catch everything, get open against everybody, make the plays at the end of the game, want the ball in the crunch time, like that's a guy in Allen Robinson. That's what he provides you. Christian Kirk doesn't provide that. Amon-Ra Brown, I get it. He's young. He did well last year. That's not his role. That's not what's going to be his role. You need a true number one. When you watch number ones go to work, whether it's Devontae, whether it's D-Hop, whether it's Stephen Diggs, whether it's Cooper Kupp, how could I forget Cooper Kupp, whether it's Jamar Chase, whether it's Jefferson, it looks a certain way as a number one wide receiver. Christian Kirk ain't a number one wide receiver. Amon-Ra Brown ain't a number one wide receiver. So you got to get a number one, and then you can filter all these guys.
Let me give you the top paid wide receivers in the NFL coming up. DeAndre Hopkins, $27 million. Julio Jones, $22 million. Devontae Adams, $20. Keenan Allen, $20. Mike Williams just signed for $20. By the way, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, $40 million at that position for the Chargers.
If you want to win.
That's how you get a rookie quarterback. You got a quarterback on a rookie deal. That's how you're able to pay 2 wide receivers $20 million bucks. Amari Cooper, $20 million. Michael Thomas, $19 million. Chris Godwin, $19 million. Tyreek Hill, $18 million. Kenny Galladay, $18 million. Allen Robinson, $17 million. So he's going to make more than that.
20.
20's the number.
20's the
Mike
number.
Williams' money is the number.
$20 million.
20. I agree with Matt.
Maybe
on that.
$21 million.
Yeah.
Maybe $21 million.
Hey, look, the last receiver that they brought in here was what? Was it Golden Tate?
Golden Tate.
Okay, he worked. Marvin Jones. They both worked out pretty damn well.
Yeah. $21 million. For the money. $21 million it's going to take. He's got to make more than, or 20. Hold on, Mike Williams, $20 million even. $20,225,000. How about that?
Let me ask you this: who do you want? You got one choice.
Allen Robinson. Don't tell me all this about it being a pass-driven league and all how good these quarterbacks are, and Justin Herbert here, and Patrick Mahomes, and Derek Carr, and Russell Wilson now out in Broncos. Don't give me all that. But then when you talk about getting a number one receiver, try to make a hodgepodge or try to make some type of...
No doubt.
Like, don't do that. Don't try to fit players in. You got to get a number one.
Braylon, how much better does it make Amon-Ra St. Brown, Quintez Cephas, Josh Reynolds? How much better does it make those guys if you secure that number one in Allen Robinson? If it takes $21 million to between 20 and 21 million, because that's the market. That's the market.
That's what they have available until today. Now they got more.
Just like in the NBA, where you have all these guys scoring at the rate that they do, how good does it make other players in the corner when they're wide open? When you got guys that are going to the hole, you got guys that are averaging 28, and you're sitting in the corner wide open. You better make that wide open shot. It's the same thing with these wide receivers: Josh Reynolds, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Quintez Cephas, Christian Kirk. When you got a guy, Allen Robinson or Devontae Adams or any one of the other guys you named on that list, when you got guys like that are the guy, or when we had Calvin, everybody else is one-on-one, which means you're seeing the second DB, the third DB, the fourth DB, sometimes linebacker, sometimes safety. If you can't get open with those guys on you, then you shouldn't be in the league. That's how easy it makes the league when you got a true number one like Devontae Adams or these other guys that are on that
So if
list.
I gave you one wish as a Lion fan, you want to sign Allen Robinson or do you want to sign Bobby Wagner?
Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson. For sure. Not even close. Not even close.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Bobby. That's tough, though.
You just said it, 11 straight years?
It's not tough.
10 straight years of leading the tackles?
It's not tough. The Lions' defense last year alone held 6 opponents to under 20 points.
Because they were over their heads.
Not to mention nobody could run the ball on them last year.
They couldn't score points. They couldn't win those games. You have got to do something offensively.
I agree.
At that position, a wide receiver, to make everybody better and to score points. We saw how bad this team was offensively before they got Josh Reynolds. If you throw an Allen Robinson in the mix here, my goodness.
Not to mention, it's your job, Brad Holmes, to figure out a way to make this work. And it's not like we don't have any money.
Right.
And we're like, oh, man, don't you sign him. If you sign him, we'll be in the negative. We still have money. The Lions still have money to work in free agency. You got to make that move, man. You got to find a way to make that move and make it work.
Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Excuse me, I was drinking some Centron. Centron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling beverages. Man, this stuff is so good, tastes good, feels smooth, doesn't get you jittery, doesn't get you all. But guess what? Also has water behind it. The water is pure as the day is green. I'm talking about smooth. Are the revitalizer shots, the turmeric and pineapple, are my favorite, but they aren't just here to provide you with liquid. They are here to be the memories. They want to be a part of every memory that you have. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste being the last one that matters, Centron is your top choice. Drink it, live it with Centron. Frosting
is this?
Oh, in the corner. Buckets.
Cade Cunningham has been spectacular for the Detroit Pistons, and despite the Pistons' loss last night, they were really in that game all night. Had the lead much of the night. The atmosphere was really good. He seems to be not everybody's. He seems to be climbing up that Rookie of the Year ladder. That's the what do you call it? The narrative now. Everybody's talking about Rookie of the Year.
He's the Rookie of the Year.
Even if he's not, he's a hell of a rookie.
Absolutely. I mean, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists last night. Pistons lose to the Bulls 114-108. So they lose, but Cade Cunningham became the 4th Pistons rookie to score 20-plus points in 5 straight games on a list with Kelly Tripucka, Dave Bing, and Grant Hill. That's a pretty darn good list, Braylon.
The game was good last night. You're talking about the Chicago Bulls, who are the 4th-place team in the NBA right now, and they have a MVP candidate in DeMar DeRozan. You have Zach LaVine, who's also an All-Star. So 2 All-Stars, and they played that close. They played well. Cade's the clear-cut Rookie of the Year. Jalen Green, I understand all the highlights, and I saw what he did against the bum Lakers yesterday, but still he played really well, especially in the overtime. But Cade is doing it at a high level, man. 25, 5-5. He's done that 6 times this season by himself. The other rookies in the MVP, they have 3 total 25, 5-5 games. It speaks for itself, man. He's winning. He's getting better and better. Now that you're getting the guys back, Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey, you add Marvin Bagley Jr. to the equation. They're getting some chemistry. You're starting to see him play and feel more comfortable trusting his players. Early on in the year, he was starting to take over and do it all himself in the last 5-7 minutes of the game. Now he's kicking, he's dishing, he's passing. He trusts his guys. You saw in that highlight right there, cross the guy over, kicks in the corner to the open guy. You're really seeing him come into his own and really flow. That's the one thing I was really impressed when the season started, because I didn't watch much of him when he was at Oklahoma State last year. So watching him during the season is kind of me getting to know him. I had to go back and watch film. He's a leader. He's mature. He's very mature for his age. I know that's a cliche term you hear, but he is very mature for his age. The way he plays the game, the way in which he leads that team, you would think he's been here before. He's a clear-cut favorite for Rookie of the Year. To be honest, they need to stop winning some games. I'm glad they lost yesterday because I've never been a tank guy, whether it was football, whether it was basketball. I'm not the tank guy. Don't tank. The Pistons moved out of that 3 pick, which means you move away from Chet Holmgren, you move away from Jabbar, and then you move away from Banchero, who's a guy you like. So
I love
stop winning so many games, but I love what he's doing.
Kendrick Perkins last night, they asked him. He put up that tweet there, Sawyer.
Yeah, as we get that tweet up about Cade, I think the only other player you look at in terms of Rookie of the Year would be an Evan Mobley from the Cavs, because the Cleveland's having a really, really nice year. 6th seed in the Eastern Conference right now. Pistons. Here's Kendrick Perkins. Pistons took the L last night versus the Bulls, but let's take a minute to talk about Cade Cunningham. Young fella is figuring it out. Troy Weaver has done it again. Carry on. Cade Cunningham, a lot of people starting to take notice. Now, Cade Cunningham has to be the #1 player for the Detroit Pistons. Evan Mobley can kind of sit there and grow on the team. You know, Darius Garland is a leader there. Jarrett Allen is a leader. Colin Sexton's playing good basketball. Kevin Love has won a championship before. Who does Cunningham have to hide behind? And I'm not saying Evan Mobley's hiding, but Evan Mobley doesn't have to be the #1 guy each and every night the Cavs take the court.
Yeah,
Cunningham does.
Every game that the Pistons take the court, everybody's looking at Cade. Everybody's looking at Cade, just like you said. And not only is he performing, he's performing at a high level. So when you watch him, and I know some people are turned off, especially guys that people that aren't from Detroit say, I don't see too much. It's kind of boring to me. He gets the points, but it's not like watching Jalen Green, or it's not like watching former #1 picks. I don't care about none of that, because when the stat line's over at the end of the game, I see 26, I see 10-6, I see 25, 5-5. I see numbers that matter. I see W, I see cohesiveness. And also, you saw it last night, Sam. What did you see?
For the first 3 quarters of the game, I'm not kidding, he looked like the best player on the court. And then the fourth quarter happened, and DeMar DeRozan dominated. But still, it was amazing to watch. Cade Cunningham's skill set was on full display. He was getting to the rim at will. He was shooting. I think he shot 9 of 14, getting others involved. It was a great performance, and I was glad to be there to see it. But then again, like I said, DeMar DeRozan, his fourth quarter was off the charts.
Baseball's back.
Get out of here.
Yeah, it is.
I don't even.
Jeff Passan, Bob Nightingale, Evan Drellich. It's back.
Okay, fine.
They've reached a tentative agreement. Sources tell ESPN. Still needs to be ratified, but start of spring training is imminent.
Okay. Here we go.
There you go.
You tweeted this time?
Yeah.
You tweeted it.
All right. So anyway,
it's better you tweeting out that I screwed you.
I'll delete that too. Here, let me delete.
No, we can leave it up. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take the brunt.
No, I don't want you to.
No, I'll take it. You wuss.
Hey, no, I'm not a wuss. I just, like to be accurate.
Yeah, I jumped the gun.
It's good. I'm saying good. I love you. Sam, I wanted to ask you, because I think I'm like a lot of fans in the city of Detroit. I want the Pistons to be good so bad. Last night's atmosphere. Talk to me about it, because it looked like I keep calling it the Palace. LCA was as packed as I've seen it for a Pistons game that didn't involve LeBron James or Steph Curry. What did you see? What did you make of the atmosphere? How was it last night?
I mean, it was a pretty electric atmosphere. I will say that about 25 to 30% of the building was Bulls fans. So that made up a lot of it. But it was still a great atmosphere. One of the best I've seen at LCA for sure.
I hope we can have many more of those nights. So baseball is back. That is a good thing. And we'll see what happens from here. We'll see. Do we know any details, Maz, or just that it's back? Dude.
Maz says you stink.
Hey, look, man. Look. Hey, you making the mistake? And I guess it wasn't a mistake, other than you got, you got played by the fake Ken Rosenthal. How many times does that happen? And you're just like, oh, man.
It happened to me on Tuesday night with
fake Tom Izzo.
With the fake Tom Izzo page.
But he's like a
that was a bad fake.
That was a bad fake. Tom Izzo.
No, this was a bad fake by me, because I didn't look at the handle.
Right.
The guy's handle did not even say Ken Rosenthal.
What did it say?
It said like at Jack me off, or whatever the hell it is.
You're fired.
Can't say that. Anyway, we want to get into some basketball tonight too, Braylon. I know you're really excited about the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Philadelphia Sixers. Preview that one. One guy's not going to be playing in that game. I wonder who it is. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network. The bottom line. I'm just happy for Ryan.
Hi, I'm Cade Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Guys, I want to tell you about Guardian Alarm. Boy, do they get it. Yep, you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house. It tells the bad guys one thing: stay out.
Don't even try it.
Whether you're home or your business, a good defense helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has 24/7 local monitoring. Also has convenient features that let you check in on your home or your business. Control your lights, temperatures, detect smoke, carbon monoxide, even going to let you lock and unlock your doors. All you have to do is call that number, 1-800-STAY out. That number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button. We're going to have Chris Prince coming out, Beer Man, in about 10 minutes from now. But yes, baseball is in fact back. Jeff Passan, ESPN. Here's the thread. Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association have reached a tentative agreement on a new labor deal. Needs to be ratified by both parties. It's a formality. Baseball is back.
Opening day, April 7th. Spring training, March 18th.
Yep, there you go. And players can report to spring training tomorrow. Final vote from the 8 on the executive subcommittee. It keeps, this new Twitter of like all these things popping up. My goodness. Final vote from the 8 on the executive subcommittee and the 30-player reps per source is 26-12 in favor of the new labor agreement. So they got the deal done.
Chris
Good for them.
Illich is probably one of the 12.
What? Before we get to basketball, because I think it is important, what effect does this lockout have, if any, now?
That's actually what I was going to answer because I knew you asked.
None
that.
on me.
I would say none. I would say none. At the end of the day, things happen in life, man. Like people need to, you have to hammer your differences out. You need to come to an agreement. You need to figure things out. Sometimes you need to readjust, and that's what they did. They took 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
They took 2.5 weeks. I think people can appreciate that and say, hey, you know what? They had some issues. They worked through their problems, and you know what? They still got us on track for baseball, semi-close to what time they were going to start it anyway. They probably won't miss any games, probably make up those games. So I think people are going to be cool with that. And the fact that they got it done because they knew the fans were worried about missing baseball. They knew the fans would be pissed off, and they knew the fans would go away from baseball. They were like, no, we got to get it done. Fans are going to realize that and be even more enthralled and happy to watch this season.
I think this moves the needle nearly 0% now that they got a deal done, and it'll probably get those other 2 series in. Probably going to play the 162 games. I haven't not seen that story, but they'll play doubleheaders on weekends or whatever the case may be, right?
Just like we do 2 reads, they'll do doubleheaders.
Yeah.
And the new rules, I think, will go into effect not this season, but the following season.
Yeah, defensive shifts and all that.
All that kind of, I'm not sure if that's going to happen this season or not. We'll find out.
Yeah, but we will find out in the coming hours, I'm sure. Braylon, big one tonight. Look, we love rivalries in the NBA, and we're getting one on the floor tonight with the Nets and the Sixers, fresh off their trade of Ben Simmons and James Harden.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, man. Last time you really seen a rivalry in the Eastern Conference, man. You might have to look back to the Miami Heat and the Celtics, and that's not so much the Miami Heat and the Celtics. That's more so LeBron and the Celtics. And you take that back to that's more so Cleveland Cavaliers and the Celtics. They hated each other. Kevin Garnett to this day won't even look at LeBron James. So that's the last time you had a rivalry where you can feel it, where it's intense during the season, and it's going to happen again in the postseason. That's what you're getting out of this, man. Kyrie and KD are not happy with how James left. You see KD had the opportunity to draft Harden in All-Star draft, chose to pass up on him, make LeBron draft him, and vice versa. James Harden wasn't happy with the situation, how it played out. KD not getting vaxxed, wanting to sit out, and then eventually playing some games when they're on the road. James didn't like that. But James Harden just want to play basketball. He wants to get to that bag. So I think you'll get that feeling. Ben Simmons won't be playing tonight. He's still not ready. Still some tightness in his lower back. But you don't need Ben Simmons for this to be a great game. You got KD, you got Kyrie, you have a bench players that you actually got from the Sixers. And then, by the way, you have James Harden and then Joel Embiid, who's front runner MVP right now, operating at a high level. They haven't lost a game since James Harden, since the trade. It's going to be a fun game to watch. And, by the way, I can't wait to watch the fans go after Ben Simmons. I think it's great.
Will he even be there?
Oh, hell yeah.
He's going to be there. He's just not playing.
He's going to sit on the bench.
Steve Nash told him that he needs to feel this, that he needs to be there. He needs to see how it goes. But I actually like this by Steve Nash because at first I said, you know what? Why the hell even go? Why be a distraction? Because they're going to show him on the Jumbotron. They're going to troll him the whole game. You know what? You need to get this feeling. You need to know how it feels because when the playoffs start, you guys are going to see each other in the playoffs. And I need you to know how it feels. I need you to get used to the sound, get used to the boos, get used to the clamor because I don't want that to be an excuse when you choose not to make layups or miss free throws or, they were booing. They're going to boo your ass, so get ready for it.
It's been a minute since I've been excited about an NBA
rivalry
team matchup, right? I mean, we always say, LeBron versus Curry or Magic versus Bird. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jordan versus I'm excited for Sixers and Nets tonight.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When's the last time you said that about teams, right? I mean, you don't say it anymore.
I don't even remember the last time.
You talk about individual matchup rivalries. You don't talk about the teams anymore. And I feel like, Embiid and Harden and Simmons, the players are there, the individuals are there, but this feels like getting excited about the jerseys, the name on the front too, instead of the names on the back.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think also a part of that is the team, the players that look at it and say, so we trade all our players to the Nets and now they're a better team than us. And look at Tobias Harris. Look at Danny Green. Look at how they must feel about that. Look at the guys that got traded and shipped away and Seth Curry and Drummond. Those guys are like, so we move over here and now they're So I think everybody is feeling a certain way. Everybody has something to feel. KD is quiet, but we know how KD is. KD doesn't talk unless he's trolling fans. KD doesn't get involved in the back and forth with players and in the media. Man, that joke KD is going to go off tonight, man. It's going to be a great game. And I'm glad it's in Philly. Philly fans are different. I've played there, and I've never even been on a team that was a rival to Philly. But just playing there, man, the Eagles, Philly fans are different, man. They bring a different type of energy. I don't understand how it's a city of brotherly love because there's not a lot of love in Philly.
I'm excited that the game is in Philly so Kyrie Irving can play the game.
Yeah. After 50 points the other night.
Yeah, and I think that adds to this as well because Kyrie can play in the game. And I hope soon, I think we have enough information now. Kyrie should be playing in Brooklyn too, by the way. I'm not sure what the holdup is there. It's not like there's not enough science or anything like that, but that's another conversation for another day, apparently. But Kyrie Irving will be on the floor tonight, too, and I think that helps the Nets in this one.
Philly's favorite, 4.5. We'll talk to Beer Man about it. But last night, LeBron pulled a Ben Simmons. Let's run the video here.
Oh, my God.
Run the video. Look at this.
So here we go. LeBron had a chance. This is his first game after taking one off, after 56. Look at that.
No audio. All
right there.
There it is.
So
LeBron took it to the hole.
So
describe it for people who are listening.
All right, if you listen, LeBron has the ball in his hand, top of the key. He goes left, 6 minutes. He gets close enough to the basket.
Tie game, 6 seconds.
Tie game, 6 seconds, 1 second. Has Eric Gordon on his hip. Eric Gordon is all of 6'5". 3. LeBron is 6'8.5" and has been dunking on guys for the past 19 years, as opposed to dunk, as opposed to layup, as opposed to just get fouled. If he gets fouled in this situation right now, it's 1.8 seconds left. He has 2 free throws. All he needs is 1 to win the game. Instead, he kicks it to a Carmelo Anthony, who actually is open in the corner for the 3. Melo misses. I mean, things happen. Melo's played good basketball, so I want to put that on him. But this is who LeBron James has been his whole career, the entirety of his career. This isn't a situation where, LeBron's a little older, he's kicking it out, he doesn't have the physicality. Early on in that game, he dunked on the center from damn near halfway through the lane. He still has an athletic ability. This is why one of the biggest arguments when it's LeBron and Jordan, LeBron and Jordan, the GOAT conversation, which I wish they would stop it. This is why the Jordan fans always tend to say this: he doesn't want the ball in the main moments. This has been LeBron his whole career. Made a lot of good passes, but he just won't take it up, won't dunk it, won't end the game, won't do it for himself, won't leave it to trust. You got to dunk that, LeBron. You got to lay that up, LeBron. You got to get fouled right there. It's just bad, and it just seems like they've all tanked it in. Then they go to overtime, and you let Jalen Green score 19 points, or you let Houston Rockets, who have lost 12 of 13, by the way, you let them beat you and score 19 points in overtime. It's over for the Lakers.
You don't think they'll get the playoffs?
They'll get in. Here's the interesting thing. The Lakers will get into the play-in. Guess who they'll be playing? They'll be playing the Pelicans. And then all those young guys that they got rid of are going to bust the Lakers' butt.
Brandon Ingram.
Oh, my God. And then, Josh Hart. And then, by the way, the Lakers still got to give them that pick for AD. So the season that the Lakers have had, which is a bad one, they'll be picking 9 or 10 after that loss. So that's what the Pelicans are telling them on the way out the door. Hey, leave that pick in your locker room.
Wait for Zion Williamson.
The Lakers are 1 game better than the 10th place Pelicans.
Yeah.
By the way, and the Pelicans started the year, I believe, 1-12.
Yeah.
I think they started the year 1-12. I'd have to
Fly,
look at
Pelican, fly.
Fly Pelicans.
Shout out to Al Pacino.
Yeah.
And the big deal with the Lakers is LeBron's actually having an MVP type year. He's actually playing MVP type ball, but the problem is they're so bad. He pressed the issue about getting Russell Westbrook, got Russell Westbrook against everybody else, and they brought him in. It hasn't worked, and his body language shows. I think that's the big thing now. He doesn't run up and down the floor. The body language shows. He's just not there. It's just a bad look.
The New Orleans Pelicans did, in fact, start the season 1-12.
Yeah.
And since then, they have been playing winning basketball. They're 12 games under 500. So, I mean, if you take out that first 13 games, if you take away the month of April, the Tigers would have been
I was waiting for that.
Right? All right, guys. What about the Nets and the Sixers tonight in Philly? Beer Man's going to have a pick for us. We'll get that next. And who do you like in the NCAA tournament? Is there a futures bet you should play? Who's going to win that natty?
How about the Sparties tonight?
Ooh-wee.
Maryland.
Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Think you're a big shot?
Oh, excuse me, it goes down.
Think you can make the big shot?
Washington fires and hits.
Woodward Sports wants to send you to the finals for college basketball April 2nd through the 4th in New Orleans. That's right, you and a friend in the Big Easy. We'll take care of the airfare, hotel, and tickets to see the finals for college basketball. Listen Monday through Friday to the Morning Woodward Show. Big D Energy and the bottom line for your chance to qualify. If you can make the big shot, you and a friend are getting out of the cold into New Orleans.
Got it.
Keep listening and watching for your next chance to win. Powered by Planet Fitness, Centron, and the Sports Marketing Agency.
And it's over. Anything can happen in March.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
let me tell you about the smoothest vodka there is right now, and that is Gypsy Vodka. At least the smoothest to me. You may have a different take, but guess what? You won't. You'll agree with me. Michigan's gluten-free vodka right now, it is corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. That's why Adam and Mike got it right. Oh, my God. 50 formulas, countless taste tests, and the stuff is pure. It passed on the 50th time. Also, they're all about upgrading. They're all about evolving. And guess what? They also now have a ready-made Moscow Mule in a can. And also, it is smooth. Want to go down to your liquor store, ask for Gypsy by name, and they will have it. Tell them Ryan Ermanni sent you. They'll probably give you a discount. Remember, if you are drinking, please drink responsibly.
I just saw a tweet from Rob Parker, our good friend, who's going to be in town next week, by the way. Man. Rob Parker says, in L.A., nobody is happier that MLB is back than the Lakers. That's kind of funny. I was waiting for the tweet that said, it's so quiet in Ann Arbor now you could hear a mouse urinate on a Zingerman sandwich. Oh, God, love Rob. And we love this guy, too. Chris Prince, part of our Woodward Bets team, along with Scotty G and the guys. Beer Makers fan on Twitter. Beer, how you doing, my friend?
Doing great, guys. Baseball's back. So I know Braylon's hurting today. Michigan let us down earlier today, but
I think
baseball back.
I think Ryan's hurting a little bit. Ryan's hurting a little bit more than I am, man. I saw it.
Ryan does look a little sad here
today.
Dude, it's like
let him down.
I mean, seriously. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I've never seen an epic collapse like I cannot remember. I cannot remember a collapse of that proportion in my Michigan rooting career.
Hey, Beer, between Michigan falling apart and me giving them baseball's back 10 minutes before it was, fake news, I've upset him a lot today. That's why he's looking the way he's looking.
We're going to cheer him up here with some winners.
Yeah, give me some winners, Beer. Give me some winners.
How about the Spartans tonight against Maryland? Start us there.
Well, local crowd's probably not going to like this, guys, but I'm going with Maryland in this game. And, we could throw out the cliche, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a season. I'm not going to do that here. We know Michigan State. It's been a roller coaster, up and down. They've looked at times like one of the better teams in the Big Ten. They've also looked at times like one of the worst teams in the Big Ten. I think you're going to start to see that come into play here tonight. That last matchup, Maryland digs a big hole. They come back. It was a game of a lot of swings. I think Maryland takes care of business here in this one. And if you looked at the spread, Maz, and the general public would say, how do you not bet Michigan State in this one? I mean, they're only 2.5 point favorites, but all of the bets are coming in on Michigan State, and that line has not moved at all. It's still in that 2 and a 2.5 point range. 80% of the bets on Michigan State. I'm fading the public big time in this one. I think Maryland gets the win here. I'm taking them on the money line. I'm taking them with the points.
Who just had Izzo on?
Look, we just had Izzo on. I understand that.
I love Tom.
Right. I love Tom. Beer, I'm so glad you went there because I feel like, and I was going to ask you about this, I feel like this is that Michigan State game from a week and a half ago. How do you not bet Michigan State in that game, but Michigan was favored by 4 and the line went up to 4.5? How is Michigan State, they just got off to a 17-1 lead against Maryland, and they came back a little bit, but they won a double-digit win against Maryland, and now they're just a 2-point favorite. Something stinks there.
But why?
Because Maryland's going to win the game.
That's exactly why. And sometimes when it looks funky, you got to question it, and that's what I'm doing here. And again, the public is all over this thing. If somebody's looking at this game, again, how do they not take Michigan State? They beat this team twice. They're the better team. They have a winning record. Maryland, losing record against the spread. Danny Manning going to have these boys ready to go here. I like Maryland.
Okay, so let's stick with college basketball for a second. On the heels of the tournament, is there a future that you would put on somebody right now to win the national championship? Who is the favorite? Who is a team that you really like because they play good defense and they have good guard play and they've got a good value here?
So I'm going to go down the board a little bit here. We know the favorites are the big names, Ryan. That team for me is UCLA, a team that we saw make a run last season. They have those veteran presences. They have some great guard play. They've been pretty solid this season. We've seen them slip up a few times out there in the Pac-12. But I always love the tournament-tested teams that bring a lot of their guys back, and some of the leadership that they have there at the guard position. Those are intangibles that you just can't beat in the NCAA tournament. So for them to win the national championship, plus 3,000. So we're talking 30-1 odds. One other bet I like, not to win the national championship, but to get to the Final Four. And I'm going to go with a small school here. We always see small school teams make a run.
Yeah.
We've seen Loyola Chicago make their run. To me, that team is St. Mary's. And I know they just lost big time to Gonzaga, but this team is incredible on the defensive side of the floor. And that can win you games alone. You know, you can slow down the other team, get in that ugly type of game. Again, another team with a lot of experience. They've been through these wars with Gonzaga. I think this is a team that can make a run and maybe not win a national championship, but get to the Final Four. The odds on them, plus 2,500 to reach the Final Four. So St. Mary's, a team to keep an eye on here for your brackets as well. I think they make a nice run here in the tournament.
How about Memphis? Anthony Hardaway's Memphis boys. They're starting to play good basketball since you know who got out of the lineup, the guy that spurned Michigan State. I don't know. I wouldn't want to play these guys.
And Michigan.
Yeah, that's it's a team playing well at the right time of the year, and I don't think there's anybody that wants to play them. So those are the kind of teams you certainly look for. You know, coming into the tournament, who's hot, who's on a roll. Very, very, very talented team that's taken some time to put it together. Do they put it all together in March? That's where I have my questions, Maz. When things are getting tough in those tournament games, do they have the moxie to get it done? The talent's there. We'll see if they can put it together. But certainly playing the best brand of basketball they played at the right time heading into the tournament.
Yeah, I'll let the fellas ask about the amateur stuff. I'm here for the big leagues. You know what time it is tonight, man. We've been waiting for this game, man. You know what it is. Who wins and why?
I like Philadelphia tonight, Braylon. I know the easy bet is let's take Brooklyn in the points. We probably get a competitive game here, but man, has Philadelphia been good. I mean, they've been one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league, winning 8 of the last 10. They're covering left and right here.
Tyrese Maxey.
At home. Right, Maxey's been playing well, and I think you're going to see James Harden just have that chip on his shoulder here and really take over, adding to what Embiid's been doing, probably the MVP of the league. This is a big spot here for Harden. I heard you guys talking about that home crowd is going to be all kinds of fired up here. Sure, Kyrie was great the other night. I think Philadelphia is too much. I think their depth is really going to put Brooklyn to the test here. No Ben Simmons. He's going to be in the building. It's going to cause a ruckus here in the crowd, get everybody stirred up here. At the end of the day, I'm laying that 4.5 here with Philadelphia tonight.
2 quick questions, and they are quick, I promise you right this. One, who plays with the bigger chip on their shoulder between the three? Obviously, Harden, KD, and Kyrie. And then the second question is, who's the underrated player that's going to ball tonight? Or who's the unsung player that's going to ball tonight for either team?
I think the biggest chip is probably Durant. To me, he's the best of those three, and I think he still feels like he has something to prove coming off that injury. Harden wants to leave and go somewhere else, and for the second time. I mean, those guys were partnered up in OKC and separated again. So I think it's Durant with the most to prove. But all those guys certainly carry that chip on their shoulder. I just think Harden rises to the occasion here tonight. As far as an unsung guy, Philly's got to get more out of Tobias Harris. I mean, this guy was, they're 1B for a long time, and he's kind of fallen off the radar here lately. So I think you see him start to bounce back, start to get it going here tonight. I would look for a big game from Tobias Harris to help Philadelphia tonight.
Talking to Chris Prince, Beer Man. You can listen to him weeknight, 6 o'clock here on Woodward Sports, part of the Woodward Bets team with Scotty G. Beer, I want to ask you about tonight's game, but the East as a whole. If you look at Milwaukee, you look at Philadelphia and Brooklyn, none of those three teams seem to want to play any defense. Which one of the three? I mean, they're scoring like 140 points a night.
The best defenders aren't even any of those three. It's the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, how do you project these teams to at some point somebody's going to have to play defense to win the East. Which one of those three plays the best defense? And while we're here, you got to play on the total tonight at all? I mean, is this going to approach 300?
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaving that total alone because we probably could get a shootout here. But that's a big question with all these teams. I mean, you can lump Chicago into this mix as well, who hasn't played any defense at all. So as fun as the Eastern Conference playoffs are going to be, and that's what fans want. We want that slot machine scoring. We don't want the days when it was 92 to 90 or some of them early 80s, 90s playoff games.
The Heat-Knicks games.
Right. I mean, it barely cracking 70. So we're certainly going to get that scoring. I'm going to go back to the Bucks here, and again, not because it's my team, because they've been there. They have one of the premier defenders at the guard position in Drew Holiday. Giannis is always in contention for Defensive Player of the Year with all that he can do and his length. So I think, Ryan, out of those teams, we know that James Harden isn't playing any defense. Embiid, sure, he'll block some shots. They're more offensive-centric. Same thing with these Brooklyn guys. Durant, Kyrie, they're going to put points on the board. Can they stop anybody? Milwaukee has those guys that can slow other teams down. They've been down that road before. So, again, I go back to the Bucks with that one.
I'm going to go to a random sport right now. The best golfer of all time was inducted last night to the PGA Hall of Fame. You got anything on the player tournament this weekend?
I don't do a ton of golf, Braylon. We had a great guest on our show yesterday. Her name's Kelly Singh, Kelly in Phoenix on Twitter. She brought some incredible picks to the table here for the tournament. I know this is a loaded field, $20 million purse, so that one's always interesting. She really liked Justin Thomas as a guy who's performed well at this course. Course history, always a big part of what you're looking at with your golf research. So I'm going to lean on one of our great guests here and her knowledge and give you Justin Thomas.
All right, two quick ones. Beer, second NBA game tonight. Anything on the Warriors?
I like Denver at home tonight. Again, we're seeing a lot of support on Golden State. This is a team, Ryan, that just is not covering the spread lately. As fun as Steph Curry is to watch, they have not been covering the number at all here recently. So Denver at home. Jokic going after that MVP. They're dealing with a little bit of injuries, but without Draymond to try to be pesky with Jokic, I don't know who's going to slow this guy down. So give me Denver at home with the points tonight.
I don't know who's going to slow down Bob Huggins. Just got kicked out of the game, ejected. 10 minutes in over here. Bob Huggins, you gotta love Huggins.
Did Syracuse lose?
Syracuse lost.
78-79.
Hey, Beer, last one. You've got the Brewers hat on. Now that baseball's back, is there a baseball long shot that resides?
Tigers. Give us your top four bets.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What about the Tigers?
You're gonna bet
what about
the Brewers,
the Tigers in the Central?
I just finding out about this baseball news, so we'll talk about that next week. But what I did find out, we talked about Michigan disassociated persons last week, and what the hell does that mean? I found an answer, and it means that people that self-exclude themselves from the casinos, things like that aren't allowed to bet or gamble. So they are excluded from all of these offers.
There you go.
God, look at that.
It had a gambling twink to it.
I'm glad we put him up to it. I knew that didn't make sense.
Good. The great Chris Prince, baby.
Thanks,
Beer
Beer.
Man. Thanks so much. Get you some winners.
Got it, guys.
Maryland and Philadelphia. Those are the two. And Denver.
Denver.
And Denver. Maryland, Philadelphia 76ers, and Denver
I got
tonight.
$20 left on my account. Do I do a 3-team parlay?
3-team steamer.
Yes, sir. Roll.
Yes.
There you go.
Three-team steamer, baby. Get it, Maz. We love it. We love Beer Man. We'll be watching those guys tonight at 6 o'clock here on Woodward Sports Network. We're going to be right back with Maz's videos of the days. Ermanni and Edwards.
Woodward Sports Network, bottom line.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Detroit Sports by Detroiters and for Detroiters. This is Detroit Sports Network. This is Woodward Sports.
Hey, everybody, you just heard the Beer Man give you a 3-team parlay. Why not go to mybookie.ag right now? I'm going to do it as soon as I'm done reading this spot to you. Mybookie.ag, use that promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. He likes 3 teams tonight. He likes Maryland over Michigan State. He likes the Sixers over the Nets. And who's the third team he likes? Denver over Golden State.
Warriors, yeah.
All right, there we go. 3-team parlay. We'll give it that to you today. Get to mybookie.ag and put your money down. I'm going to do it. So follow me. Follow the leader. Use the promo code Woodward. Double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Gambling Problem Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
If you win any money, or even if you don't, head over to Wingsnab and treat yourself to some wings. Fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wingsnab has the best traditional wings. You can try the signature sauces as well. Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper, tossed to perfection in any sauce you pick. You can find a location at wingsnob.com. We just have better wings.
Jamaican me crazy, man.
And now it's time for Maz's Videos of the Day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
All right, guys, here we go. Let's go. Maz, you got time for one or two? Let's
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I got a good one, and Braylon sent this one to me. He turned me on to a guy I used to root for, Brad Johnson, former quarterback, obviously won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, played for the Vikings, could have won one
Cowboys.
there as well, Cowboys as well. Brad Johnson, check out this trick shot.
Let's see it.
Big Bad Brad here, back by popular demand. Popular on the East Coast, popular on the West Coast, and yeah, everywhere in between. Often get asked a couple questions. How do you make all them shots, and how long does it take? Well, number one, it takes what it takes. And number two, a lifetime of practice.
Who does he look like? Who's Goldie Hawn? Kurt Russell. Doesn't he look a little bit like
bigger
Kurt Russell?
I like that. I just loved
good,
his.
man.
I just loved his energy in the video.
Great energy.
Like the energy was great. You could tell he's been having fun.
I could play
His
for that
retirement.
guy.
He's
No
good.
doubt.
He's a good dude too. And we met him at the quarterback receiver challenge that I told you about that happened in the Cayman Islands, but never got aired because Mike Vick was a part of it.
Oh, God.
And then that year is what happened with Mike
LeBron
Vick. So
James.
really, really, really good dude and had a lot of fun.
That was awesome, man. I got one for you guys, you hockey fans out there. Even if you don't like hockey,
9-2.
you have to like Vladdy Konstantinov, the great Vladinator. Look what he does to Claude Lemieux. And we're coming up to D-Mac's anniversary on the 26th.
March 26th.
Check this out, the Vladinator.
Lemieux. Gotta see that again, boys. He was cutting to the inside, so he thought, and what a hit. Up he goes, over he goes, and the crowd, do you think they like it? I think so.
Konstantinov, a legal, spectacular body check. Lemieux tries to come inside him. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the check. And even the landing is spectacular. Now, here it is right here. Tries to come back inside. And Konstantinov.
What could have been?
Oof.
What could have been? I mean, I know they won back-to-back, but that guy was something special, man.
One of the best.
One of the best.
Yeah, he
God, man, what happened?
Works
what
in
happened to that
mysterious
team?
ways, that's for
so
sure.
sad, so sad. But the great Bob Cole, Harry Neal, Hockey Night
they're
Canada.
a
It's
better
all
duo.
Detroit here.
Is there a better duo?
They were phenomenal.
Yeah, they
Bob Cole.
One of the
why I
things
fell
I
in love.
love coming to
Harry
Michigan,
Neal.
when I moved to Michigan,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow,
CBC.
Hockey Night in Canada. I
Right.
get CBC.
Bob Cole and Harry Neal. Is there a better
Sweet.
name than Harry Neal?
Oh,
Side note, man, I went back, man. You guys are right. There is something about the announcer, the color guy, the analyst that makes it better because when I turn on NBA, whenever there's an NBA game and it's on NBA TV, I'm like, no, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching
It's
it. Like,
terrible.
so you guys
They
are
take the
100%
home-
right.
they take the home-
It's so
Yeah.
boring. They're
They
like,
kill it.
They're like, ball goes into LeBron. LeBron runs around. LeBron, like it's
They kill the
so
vibe. There's no
bad.
vibe.
Like you're right about that because NBA TV. If I see a game's on there, all right,
I
man.
think Kevin Kugler had the call in the Michigan game.
Oh, Kevin's good.
So good.
He's very good. He was part of our show.
Yeah.
We had him on. I got time for one more, don't I?
Yeah, sure.
All right. This father played a fast one on somebody. I guess his backyard's in a golf in the back of a golf course. So he pretends he gets hit in the head with a ball. Oh, oh man, that sounds like my girls. Something I would have pulled off.
I'm dying laughing at Ryan because Ryan said he was going to do 2. And then he has to do another one. Ryan said, sure, let's do another one. And then he's like, so this was a guy in his backyard. Ryan's like, boo.
What's wrong with that one?
No, that was a good one.
Okay, why you give me the raspberries?
I don't know.
You know what's something to look forward to? Now that baseball's back?
Burkett's mock?
No, baseball's back. You know how many deals are going to be made in the next 2 weeks?
Where's Carlos Correa going to go?
Are you sure the baseball's back?
It's back.
Is it for sure?
I'm telling you, there's going to be so many deals.
Okay.
This is exciting.
Correa, Tigers, let's go.
Let's go.
You want Javi? So if he comes here, who plays second? So you put Javi
Let
second?
Javi play first.
Correa's not coming here.
Well, we
sign him. Get us out of here, Bray.
Hey, man, another great show. Tomorrow, Friday, we get to see if Michigan State beats Maryland. What's going to happen with that? Michigan, they shot the bid today. But tomorrow, you know what? We'll see if Michigan State beats Maryland. You hear Prince. But also, we'll get to see what happens with James Harden tonight, as well as the Nets and 76ers. Fun show, fellas. Fun week so far. One more day. Sawyer,
baby.
We appreciate you, buddy. We appreciate the fill-in for the great Alex Merritt. Thank you, buddy.
Sam, baby.
Sam,
double
another
duty.
good one as always. My guy on the desk, and then always Uncle Maz on the couch. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Steamer.